I think even if we are headed towards a ground invasion, there's going to be significant softening operations to prelude into that first. So already we're seeing kind of the sheer intensity of the artillery bombardment that's been going on. They've mobilized about 4 or 5 brigades worth. I think it's about 16,000 men that they've brought out of into service, including about 600 or 700 or so to help to man the Iron Dome defense system. And before they can even enter Gaza, they'll want to basically pulverize the Gaza Strip and make sure that wherever they enter, high-rise buildings are going to be knocked down to prevent sniping points or choke points from forming. And more or less, they'll be able to roll in with their armored vehicles with air support unimpeded. And that's the kind of plan. Unfortunately for the Israelis, it's very difficult to completely flatten a city. If you look at the Russian experience in Grozny, for example, in the Chechen War, it wasn't until they adapted their tactics to be able to engage infantry to infantry before they were able to subdue the Chechens. And something similar is likely to happen here. You know, there's going to have to be significant blood spent for them to be able to neutralize Hamas in the manner that they may be anticipating. And as your correspondent rightly said, this has a high political capital, and I don't think Netanyahu is going to be wanting to spend that at a time when he's facing corruption allegations and he needs to be, surviving politically in order to form a government and stay in power. I mean, what's happened with me personally, and there's quite a bit of pathos here in the sense that I'm Iraqi, so I had to kind of, and still do, have to deal with, hearing horrific stories from there. And I've married into a Palestinian family, so I have to hear the horrors from there as well. And what's happened with us personally is my wife's grandmother owned a couple of flats in a block of apartments in the Rimal district, and that was completely leveled. It was aired on numerous television stations, and just totally wiped off the face of the earth, just obliterated. And we have to bear in mind exactly where this is. So the Rimal district in Gaza, it's downtown. And to put that into perspective, that's the equivalent of a military force leveling blocks in Oxford Street in London, or Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, or the Champs-Élysées in Paris. That's how centralized this is. And these are commercial districts. These are civilian targets. And under the laws of war, international humanitarian law, they are not legitimate military targets. There are no military operations being conducted there by Hamas or any other Palestinian militant faction, and there's no justification for doing this apart from to cause as much harm as possible. Now, these are obviously war crimes, and it remains to be seen, and I am highly skeptical and doubtful, considering the previous history, but it remains to be seen whether the international community is going to step up to the plate and do something about it. Because I can't speak for all of your viewers, but I'm sure they share similar sentiments. I'm sick and tired of seeing leveled buildings, dead civilians, and dead children. And it's about time someone came together with world powers and put an end to this. It's a joke, frankly. I mean, we've got an emergency situation occurring right now, not on Sunday, now. And when we're looking at, the actions of the most moral army in the world, we're looking at them decimating civilian populations, destroying them physically, and for those who survive, destroying their homes and their livelihoods. We have to appreciate Gaza's been under siege for almost 14 years. There's barely anything left in terms of an economy, and there's barely anything left for the people to hope for. And we're already seeing, and I'm already hearing as well from relatives, how once this is over, they just want to get out of Gaza and never come back. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds awfully genocidal to me, because if you're making sure that a civilian population no longer wants to remain in a theater of operations, you could be culpable for some severe war crimes here, and that's exactly what I think Israel's doing. There's no doubt in my mind that their policies are genocidal. There's no doubt in my mind that their intent is to decimate the population of Gaza, to make sure that they're malleable, to make sure that they set an example, and so that they can crush any sort of resistance towards them. And in so doing, they will ensure that the Palestinian political leadership, such as it is, and it's a joke in many ways, but they will ensure that they will be cowed into submission and accept unfavorable settlement terms in any future peace deal. And I say peace with a fistful of salt.